Hello there, so this is my second video on my road to doing an Ironman 70.3 in 2023, and this is just my review of the Kingston half marathon that happened a couple of weeks ago. So what was the purpose of doing this half marathon? So for me it was a couple of things. So it was see if we could actually run a half marathon again, because it's been 5 years since I've done a half marathon due to injuries and other stuff getting in the way. I wanted to test out a potential pacing strategy for my what I do on the Ironman. So I've got an idea of around 10.5 minute miles, given the bike ride and having done the swim already. And I just wanted to see whether that was possible with my fitness and with my, shall we say, my body that's been through quite a bit. And one big thing was, can I run that far with my back injury, which I've recovered well from, but I'm always very wary that I've never run over 10 miles much with this. And finally, in the last few weeks, a couple of weeks before actually I did this, I picked up an MCL injury, which is the ligament on my right leg by my knee. And I got accidentally kicked in the pool when on a swimming lesson, which wasn't very pleasant. So I aggravated that. So that had been very tight in the days running up. I had run on the Friday, not too much adverse, but I just really wanted to see how it was faring. So the race, it's the Kingston Half Marathon, and this is quite a popular race, autumn race that starts right in the middle of Kingston upon Thames in the shopping centre. It is pretty much a pancake flat course, bar you can't count going over the bridges. Kingston Bridges are a hill. I mean, it's just a minor rise. It's an out and back route with a mix of pavement and towpath. No closed roads, so you did have to be careful of the traffic. The towpath is along the side of the River Thames at Hampton Court. It's quite a long stretch of towpath that's paved, but it's gravelly, and it's turned out to be very wet as well. So one thing I have done is I have done bits of the course before on the Hampton Court half marathon a number of years ago, and on the original Kingston Marathon, which they ran in the 90s, but we went the opposite way, and it was a 3 laps thing, and it didn't finish in the main area. But it was a good. It's been a few years since I've done that, but I have done bits of the course, so I did remember bits. So how did we do? Well, we actually did 2:08:42 on my GPS, pace of 9:44. As you can see, total ascent 144 feet. If that's not flat, I don't know what is. It's very it's a very flat course. It's not too bad, and the miles did tick by. And one thing that was quite good was my pacing. So I started doing the first mile when I got to 9:50, and I thought, okay, not feeling too bad on this. Let's just see how we get on. And then we just sort of settled into a bit of a 9:39s. There was a fast one at 9:33. The only mile that was quite slow was the 8th mile on the towpath, where I did a 10-minute mile, and that was a bit weird, and so I sort of pushed it on. And as you can see, I didn't fade at the end at all. And what I did do is, when I got to 12 miles, I thought, right, let's go for it. So we just picked up the pace a bit to 9:13. But I think I ran very well within myself. Never really pushed it too hard until the end. Didn't really get a chance because the weather was so bad in places. But I was very pleased that I was way above my 10.5 minute mile sort of target, and it was all about pacing and making sure we didn't go too mad. So on reflection, what went well? Well, it was a better time than expected. I actually did. I was aiming about 2:15, and I was on 2:08, which I was really pleased with. Held the pace well, so I never really struggling. Had something in the tank at 12 miles, so I could push on, which I was quite pleased about, given that the my legs were beginning to feel it a little bit, and especially the injury a bit at 12. They were a bit, legs were beginning to feel the fatigue a bit, because just don't run that far usually. I did get my nutrition and hydration strategy spot on, so going into it, I had made sure I had something to eat before the race, because I'm really susceptible to being hungry. I've got a cast iron stomach, I can eat well, so I did have my porridge in a flask. Did have a gel and a Cliff Bar on the race in the middle, just to again not to suffer any of those mid-morning hunger pangs. I'm running 2 hours, which is a lot longer than usually. I did cope well with the weather conditions. It was a strange day. It was all right going up there, and then about half hour before the race started, it absolutely started pouring rain. Then it stopped. Then on the first half of the race, it was fairly sort of on off. There was some rain, then it stopped. Then when we got on the tow path, it absolutely poured it down, and going through the bit from about 9 to 11 miles was just absolutely pouring it down. There was so much surface water on the roads and on the paths. Your feet were wet by that time anyway, but it can be pretty demoralizing running for 2 hours in that weather. And I didn't have any adverse effects on my back. Next morning felt really good, so I know now that I can run that far and I'm not a cripple, because that's, with my lapsed disc I had in my back, I'm very wary about not pushing it beyond the boundaries of what it can do. But I think this is okay in the realms of where I'm okay. Okay, what didn't go to plan? Well, the MCL injury was okay on the run, but as soon as I stopped, it tightened up, which is quite common apparently, my physio said, and it was really, really painful and quite uncomfortable at the end. Really stiffened up, and I did, after I finished the race, I had to have 4-3. I took the week off. The week after, I did very little, but I was in, it was very painful. Subsequently gone to my physio, and it's recovering well now. It's not too bad, but it was a pain after I finished. Technological mishap. Now I don't usually run with music, but I just thought, I'll run with a bit of music to see how this goes. And I have the proper headphones. I've got the Shocks, or Aftershocks, or whatever they're called now, headphones. One thing I forgot was I had a new phone the other month, and I hadn't worn these headphones with the old phone. So with the new phone, sorry. So what happened was I hadn't paired them, and I'm trying to pair them on the run, and Bluetooth, and I couldn't remember the buttons you press to get it. And after like about 3-4 miles of fruitlessly trying, I went, oh god, I'll just run without them. And in the end it was fine, but it was just a bit one of those annoying things. So yeah, a bit of a technical mishap there. Maybe, I mean, when I did finish, I was not in a bad way at all. I was quite fresh-ish, and I did think to myself, did I run too slow? So could I have done steady 9:20s, 9:25 and pushed for 2 hours? I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I think I'd planned to do 10:30s, and I was doing 9:50s, 9:45s, and I thought, well, that's more than enough. And then the final one is more funny than anything else. I'm lucky not to fall over. About 5 miles in, coming along behind two ladies, and I was just hanging back, waiting for a more wider place to pass them. And I sort of tripped on the pavement and lunged forward and through the middle of them, and they thought that I'd come through deliberately when actually I'd almost fallen over, and I did grab sort of, not grab one of them, but I just managed to hold on, and I did say sorry. So I doubt they'll ever watch this video, but sorry ladies, I didn't mean to fall through the middle of you. But overall, my what went well far outweighed my what didn't go to plan, and it's all stuff we learn. You can get everything right in training, but there's whole things on races that never go to plan. So what's the next step? Well, we've got the bit of injury recovery. I'm sort of 75% there. I haven't been running since it's beginning of November now, and I will be going next week. I've got a visit. I had a visit to the physio who checked it's not too bad. It's just a bit. It's an old injury. I've had it before, but we do need to get that done. Week and a bit's time, I've got the marathon swims in London, which is a 5k pool swim in the London pool at Stratford, the Olympic pool, which I'm really looking forward to. I did it 2018 very badly, and I'm so much better swimmer now that I want to go back and give it another whirl and do it properly. So that's next week. I do have to book my Ironman race for next year, probably before all the prices go up, because they always keep going up. Interesting video on another video on YouTube. Harry Palmer, who I follow, interestingly, he was talking about prices of races for professionals and for amateurs, and it does make you think. So the other thing I've got to do is complete the maintenance program up to Christmas. So this is just my maintenance program to keep me involved. So a bit of Zwifting, got some running to do, working lots on strength and conditioning, and a bit of cardio just to unwind but get my last bit in. And then the one thing I'm going to be doing is looking at some supplementary races for the first half of 2023. So we're definitely going to do another half marathon. Aim for 2:05. Got a couple of ideas. Got two ideas, probably either Paddock Wood or the Hampton Court half marathon, which runs on a bit of this course. So I might go for something different. I haven't done Paddock Wood for many years. Back in the 90s, I think I did that. So overall, not looking bad, and I'll probably do a video on see how I did on marathon swim. So thanks all, see you next time.